That an X? That an O? Sports talk? Yeah. Let's go.
I got it back. Yeah. It's the swimmer.
That's a new dance, huh?
Yeah.
Somebody pull him up before you drown. Yeah.
fellas, what's going on? Listen, man, it's that time. You know what we do. We are that crew from XO Sports Talk. Fellas, what's going on, man? What's happening, everybody?
What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Emerson?
I am
What's
good.
happening, T?
Good.
Yo, Brian. What's up, Aaron?
Hey, you tell me and then I'll tell you.
Hey, guess what? I got my swag back.
I'll tell you what, your swag comes and goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, but today I got it back.
Oh, my goodness.
Man.
Terry, subscribe, please.
XO Sports Talk would like to thank all our viewers for their support. We are currently streaming on all your favorite podcast platforms. If you're watching the show on YouTube, be sure to hit the notification bell, hit the subscribe button, tap the notification bell, and click on the share button. Feel free to join in on the live chat where you can post your comments, or you can call 475-221-5006 to join the conversation.
Yeah, I think T gave up the slapping of the notification bell, huh?
Just for a little while, man, you know. And want to bring any bad vibes to the show.
No more.
And Terry, the shooting yesterday in Texas.
Yeah, you know, I feel like at this point we're coming on the show, or every time we do the show, we're having to give our condolences. But XO Sports Talk would like to offer our condolences to the parents, families, teachers, and classmates of the 19 children and 2 teachers who lost their lives to a senseless act of violence that took place in Uvalde, Texas yesterday morning. Yes. Our hearts go out to the community of Uvalde as it's been devastated by this tragic event. Our prayers also go out to the grandmother of the gunman as she is currently in the hospital in critical condition.
Absolutely.
Oh boy.
Absolutely.
Man, my heart just goes out to all of those families. It's a tough pill to swallow. And it seemed like you said, Terry, we're doing it again on every show almost, you know, for the last few weeks.
Yes.
About some type of senseless acts of violence throughout this country.
Absolutely.
So our prayers are with them.
Yeah, and it's
all the first responders, our prayers are with them as well. I think law enforcement agents, our prayers are with you as well too.
Yeah, and it's always a tragedy, especially when something like that. But when it's children, it just hurts a little bit more. It's just
it comes to home even faster.
Yeah.
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 It affects everyone.
Yeah.
Or any parent, any grandparent,
absolutely,
you know, aunt, uncle, sister, brother.
Yes.
Yeah.
As we go around the horn, hello, Swag, Emerson.
Hey, man. What's up, fellas? Man, I'm happy to be back this week, man. You know, I was off last week, so I'm happy to be back with the fellas again, man.
Yeah,
everybody knows your voice.
Yeah, well, man. And now we're missing Malcolm this week, man. So, Malcolm, what's up, man? You know, XO Sports, we miss you here, brother, man. So we'll be looking to see you next week, Malcolm. All right?
The famous words of Malcolm. Oh, I'll be back next week, no doubt.
That sounds like him. That sounds just like him, huh?
Terry, how are you tonight?
Good, Aaron. How are you, man?
Just as they say down south, just trying to make it through the day. That's all I can say. Just trying to make it through the day.
Keep making
Hump
it,
day,
man. Keep making it.
Hump
man.
day.
Yeah,
That's it. Push you over the hump.
and and Brian, my little brother with the big heart. How are you?
I'm well, man. I'm well. Got my workout in early. Did the treadmill. Did that.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we was due 6:30, and yeah, you know what happened after that.
Yeah.
A bowl of ice cream, and then he's done.
The ice cream man is coming.
That's it, man.
Mr. Softy, huh?
But and let's Emerson had brought up something while we were talking before we got on the air about the coach Steve Kerr for the Golden State Warriors. He deserved kudos for what he's said yesterday about the senseless shooting in Texas and in Buffalo. And I when I listened to it, I was like, outstanding.
Yeah.
Dead on the spot, outstanding. I'm so glad that he was able to use the platform that he has to bring this even more out to the public. Like, this is madness.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So, agree with
kudos to Steve Kerr.
And, he's in a Western Conference NBA playoff game, and he said, I don't even want to talk about basketball because right now what's going on in our country, it's bigger than sports. And I know we use sports as a tool to bring us together and those things of that nature. But big ups to Steve Kerr, especially here at XO Sports. We commend you, Steve Kerr.
Yeah. Vote, people, vote. So,
yes.
Yep. Your voice can be heard.
Want to see laws change? Got to get out and vote.
Yep.
Yes. And I had a guy at work tell me that about the voting laws. You have to blame the people. And I said, blame the people. I said, you think some people want to stand in line for 8 to 10 hours to vote?
Yeah.
And I commend people that are losing a day's pay to make sure their vote is heard.
Yeah.
And I say to you, don't stop. Keep fighting.
Yeah.
Keep fighting.
Yep.
NHL MLB update. Emerson, please.
All right. Listen, it's the NHL playoffs and it's going down and it's hot, hot, hot. Even on the ice is hot. So listen, I just want to say tonight there's a game in progress right now. And we're talking about that game of the Colorado Avalanche and the St. Louis Blues. Colorado is looking to close out their series over the St. Louis Blues. I've been a little surprised about St. Louis and their play as of late. They just didn't show a lack of focus to me, so they better watch out. If they don't grind out tonight real hard, I think Colorado is going to overtake them and close out this series and move on to the next round. Yesterday, we witnessed the New York Rangers tie up their series to make it a 2-2 series, and they won that game with a 4-1 win over the Carolina Hurricanes. And that next game will be on Thursday night. So look out. That's a tie series. It's all tied up. And the New York Rangers said, hold up. Here we come. Go, New York. Go, New York. Go. And listen, the Edmonton Oilers, they take a 3-1 lead over the Calgary Flames, all right? And they did that with a 5-3 win also. And that next game is going to be on Thursday night. And Edmonton they're gonna look to close out that series over the Calgary Flames. All right, so watch out. The NHL is getting hot, and those Tampa Bay Lightning, they're just sitting back waiting for their next opponent. So it's getting close to that Stanley Cup. Listen, I just wanted to touch bases on the power rankings of the Major League Baseball right now, and we see that the New York Yankees are top of everybody right now in baseball. They have a 30-13 record. They're hitting on all cylinders. Seem like Aaron Judge, Carlos Stanton. I think he's hurt right now. I heard something about him possibly being hurt, maybe going on the injury.
Carlos Stanton, the big man with the big bat.
Yeah. Rizzo is hitting. They Aaron Judge has like 15 homers already. I mean, they're just balling out right now. We're going to see if they can keep up that pace, because it's all about what you can do in October. All right.
Exactly.
Listen, coming in second on the power rankings, those Los Angeles Dodgers, who lost today in a 1-0 game. They lost to the Nationals. Tough loss on the road, but that's all right. I believe they're going to bounce back. They've been doing what they've been doing all year. And Mookie Betts right now is one of the hottest players. He's looking like he's already in all-star form. And for the third hot team on that power ranking to round out in our Major League Baseball talk this week, we got the Houston Astros, all right? They did stumble a little bit last week. They lost a couple of games, 2 out of 3 to the Red Sox, but they bounced back and won 3 out of 4 against the Texas Rangers. Their pitching rotation is phenomenal, led by Justin Verlander. And together as a team, they have the second best ERA in Major League Baseball right now. So watch out for those hot teams right now. And I'm telling you, there's some other hot hitters right there. Manny Machado, he's just been hitting the ball all over the place. So baseball is getting hot, and it's getting that time, getting close to All-Star break and all that good stuff. Before you know it, we're almost in June already. So Major League is hot. The NHL is hot. It's a good time of year to be a sports fan. That's just sports talk from the NHL and MLB today.
No doubt.
From
New York.
Emerson.
Go New York. Go New York.
Yes.
You know I got a Boston hat.
Bum. WNBA update, Terry, please.
Congratulations to the Chicago Sky, who raised their 2021 championship banner and received their championship rings last night.
Yeah.
And they closed out their celebration last night with a 95-90 win over the Indiana Fever.
Mm-hmm.
Some other scores around the league last night: the Dallas Wings defeated the Connecticut Sun 85-77. The Washington Mystic defeat the Atlanta Dream 70-59, and the Minnesota Lynx defeated the New York Liberty 84-78. As most of the teams around the league have played about 6 to 9 games into the season, your leader in the conference standings for the East are the Washington Mystics at 6-2. And over in the West, the Las Vegas Aces are sitting on top of the Western Conference at 7-1. We also want to congratulate Deli Don on becoming the 40th player in WNBA history to score 4,000 career points.
Ooh, big ups right there.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shooter.
All right.
Thank you.
That's what I'm talking about.
And just to wrap up WNBA news for today or this week, we just want to, Exo Sports Talk would like to turn our thoughts to Brittany Griner, who is awaiting a pretrial while being detained in Russia.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're all hoping that she is released soon.
So
Yeah.
Hopefully, yes.
There was I didn't have a chance to listen to it, but they had her, Brittany's wife on ESPN.
Yeah.
On an interview.
I think was it with Robin Roberts or maybe?
Yep. Robin
Okay,
Roberts.
I did hear about that. Okay.
Very nice piece.
So, yes.
Yeah. Hopefully she'll get home soon.
Get home soon, Britt. We miss you.
Celtics and Heat. Who will win? Emerson.
Doom, 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 doom. Boom! I'm going with the Boston Celtics. It's something about that Boston pride. I think they're going to pull it out. I think the Leprechauns there in the Boston Garden are going to come alive, and they're going to steal this series from the Heat. Although the Heat they have a tough team. I believe they coach well. They have some. They have a deep roster, and we know what Jimmy Butler is capable of doing. But I just believe Tatum is his time to shine and show what he's made of. I think he's taken that next step to be the superior player that he has shown throughout the season. I like their depth with Marcus Smart and Brown. They just keep coming at you, and they're well coached. And their defensive tenacity has just shown to give teams fits when they need to make those defensive stops. So I'm taking the Celtics in this series, although it's tied up right now. But I just feel some way, somehow, the Boston Celtics are going to come out of the East, all right, and win this series over the Miami Heat. That's my prediction right there.
I hope that little leprechaun kicks you in the shin and you fall to your knees and then he just knocks you out.
Oh, man.
Hey, man. Hey, if they were playing back in the old days of the old Boston Garden where it was like 105 degrees,
Turn the
I don't
heat
think they was just seem like they had no air conditioning in that building.
But no, I was literally thinking about the Celtic leprechaun kicking you in the shin, you fall to your knees, and then he just knocks you out.
Well, I might just grab him and put him in a paper bag or something, huh?
Terry.
The Celtics, I mean, they came out, they dominated in game 4. I mean, I want to say throughout the whole playoffs, they show flashes of dominating teams on defense. I mean, that's what they did to the Heat in game 4. I mean, they held them. I don't think the Heat scored got their first basket till like 3 minutes and something seconds left in the first quarter. I mean, that's what dominant defensive teams do. I mean, if they can come out and play with the same intensity and I guess desperation that they played with in game 4 tonight, I think they win tonight and ultimately they win the series. Sorry about that, why? And if I'm wrong, I expect all the smoke, but I just think the Celtics have the ability to shut teams down defensively, and then you pair that with their talent offensively with Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and I think they're going to pull this out. Kyle Lowry is not 100%, and he really hasn't been giving them anything when he's been out on the floor, and I think that's something that the Heat are missing from an offensive standpoint. But I think the Celtics pull this one out, maybe in 6, especially if they win tonight.
Okay.
Yep.
I like
Ryan.
that, T.
Yep. And I said that last week. I'd pick Boston. I stick with that, which I thought. And the reason why, I thought both teams were well coached, both of them. But to me, I thought Tatum was the difference. Tatum, to me, is on the cusp of becoming what we would call next tier superstar. You can see him out on the floor where he has the ability to score, but now you're seeing the team focusing on how do we stop the star player. And he's getting that kind of adjustment, and he's trying to figure that out on the fly. And he's still getting his points. And those days when he is off, this is where he's going to have to figure this part out, is how to get his points when he's off and get to the free throw line and get those points. Get him easier when his jump shot is off and still get those points, because he can get a shot anyway, however he gets it. So it's about how you get him during the game. So to me, that was the difference in why I picked him, because I thought he is right there on the cusp of becoming a next tier superstar.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you, Brian.
Well, being the rebel without a cause, I'm sticking with Miami. all the way
Sticking
to
with
the
Miami,
end.
huh?
Yep. I
Yeah.
think in this series, I said if Miami could win 2 in a row, it would be over in Game 6, but it looks like it'll go to Game 7. It's just sporadic. It's whoever gets hot first wins. This is how this series has been going. I've never seen anything this insane in NBA basketball, where that this team by the first half they got a 20-point lead and they wind up winning by 15 or so, and the other team never has a chance to come back. But I'm still thinking that Miami's going to win this series, and I just like the coach for Miami, and I'm going to stick with Miami to win the series.
Okay.
I also want to say I think health can play a major part in this series. I know a couple guys are banged up here and there. I know guys have been playing through injuries, fighting through injuries. Those kinds of things can also play major dividends going down the stretch. Who has the healthiest team late in the fourth quarter? Who has the healthiest team going into that Game 6 or that possible Game 7? We just don't know. A lot of guys are this time of year in the NBA. It's a grueling time of year for their bodies, and guys are playing through some really tough injuries. Some injuries that have been lingering with them since probably after the All-Star break. But we got to definitely see who's going to be the healthiest team, and I think the healthiest team can prevail. Because if that star player is not available, now you're looking at that guy, one of your role players, they're hoping that he can step up and be able to shine and maybe pick up the slack in certain areas, whether it's offensively or defensively. So I just want to see who can be the healthiest team going down the stretch. That's just something I just want to throw out there.
Yeah, I would say that, because I've never seen in a series where two teams had their starting lineup change with guys in and out from game to game, not series, just game to game.
Mm-hmm.
Either he's in, he's out. Williams in, out.
Yeah.
So.
And now Lowry's like playing like, I mean, he's half of what he can be, and I know he wants to grind it out, but can he be a liability out there as well? So is that an area when Lowry comes in the game, something the Celtics want to take into account and attack him and go right at him? So I think health is going to play a major part in this series.
And no Tyler Hero tonight, which is big.
You see what I mean?
I know.
Yeah, that's big.
Marcus Smart is going to be back on the floor tonight for the Celtics.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go Miami.
You just like the weather. You just like the weather down there.
That's it.
Yeah, more than that too. But moving right along for another day. The Dallas Mavericks staying alive.
Oh man, that's hey man, we might have to bring you back to Studio 54 in New York. That was John Travolta,
white, suit,
all of that.
Move your little stiff hips.
In that movie there, I couldn't believe there was a lady that came up to him while he was talking with his boys, and she said, "Well, are you good on the dance floor as you are in bed?" And I said to myself, wait a minute, that voice sounds familiar. And I had to go back and look. And do you remember the TV show The Nanny?
Yeah. That was her?
Yes.
That was her.
Oh, wow.
Fran Drescher. Did she have that voice?
Yes.
Then?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was her. And that dance scene with John Travolta, they wanted to cut that scene out. They said it was too long. It's not worth it. And Travolta pleaded with them, and he convinced the editor, look, forget the producers, put that scene in. And it was one of the awesome scenes in Saturday Night Live
Oh.
because we remember John Travolta on Welcome Back Carter when he did his little dance, Barbarino.
Yeah, that was man. That's old school right there.
Yeah.
Some of our viewers probably have no idea what we're talking about right now.
I don't have no idea.
okay.
I kind of vaguely remember,
that's
but
from the early '80s.
I don't remember that.
They had a TV telethon at the school, and jumped into the classroom with a white suit, and he started going Barbarino. And then he started going, "You got me right." Yeah, blah blah blah.
Yeah. Hey, why don't you show us that dance?
Yeah, that those hips moving. Come on, man.
And I tell you what, I need a hip surgery.
But also the Bee Gees, which was a very popular group back in the late '70s and early '80s. Yeah. That was their song. That was their hit song.
And they got trashed back then for their music.
The Bee Gees?
Yeah. The Bee Gees.
I don't know if they got trashed.
Oh, yeah.
They were phenomenal.
They were phenomenal, but they were their sound forced everybody else to change.
Oh, well, you had to. Yeah, go ahead.
So what the brothers wind up, what was the music they called that music? It was
pop.
No, it wasn't pop music.
No, I was about to say they're not a pop group.
Studio. It was Studio 54 music, and at that time, people had to change. Everybody started making their own disco music.
Yeah, okay.
And people were like, it had its run, but they wanted disco music out. And so what the brothers started doing, they started writing a lot of music for other people.
Yeah.
But their music is, a part of history.
They're legendary, though.
Yep.
The Bee Gees are legendary.
Yeah.
And speaking of a legendary game last night, the Dallas Mavericks staying alive, beating the Golden State Warriors 119-109.
Big time game.
Terry.
I'm gonna look at that game as it was a giveaway game. It was a good game. Don't get me wrong. Luka played well. The team played well. But I don't feel, and I hate to say this because I know these teams are professionals. They're good at what they do. And I'm not saying that the Warriors came out and threw the game. But, it's a 7-game series. You're bound to lose one game in the series. And I think last night's game was that game for the Warriors.
Emerson.
Well, Terry, I have to disagree with you a little bit. And it sounds like you're saying that the Warriors intended on losing last night. I don't think any team, when you get a team down 3-0 in a series, you want to close them out. This way you can rest and be able to prepare yourself for the next series coming. I thought Dallas showed grit. I thought they just outright beat the Golden State Warriors in every phase of the game. Luka, good, you say? Luka was great. And that's where we had that conversation earlier in the night before we came on this show during our production meeting.
It's coming up next, Sam.
Yes. but I'm just saying though, I just want to point out that
don't sell the pie while it's still in the oven.
Yeah. Well, make sure that oven is hot enough. All right. But if we're talking about closing out a series, if you can do that, you want to do that.
Yeah. I'm not saying that the Warriors didn't show up or showed up with no intentions of playing. I just think, and let's not take anything away from the Mavericks as well. I mean, look at the teams they beat to get to where they are. But, the Warriors came in and did what they had to do. They got that they stole a home game away from Dallas to go up 3-0. I feel like Dallas was due a win. Yeah, it's hard to, like you said, teams definitely want to go in, take care of business, and close out a series. But a sweep is hard. It's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like last night game, Dallas was due for a win. They've played well for the most part throughout these 4 games. And, I just think Golden State will be ready to take care of business next game, which I believe is tomorrow, to close out the series.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Brian.
Yeah, and that's what I thought Terry meant by that. Not that they threw the game away, but it was hard for them to muster up the energy, knowing that you knew Dallas was going to come out with a big punch. You didn't expect Bullock and them to go 0 for 10 from the 3 again. And Luka brought his game. Even in the other game, he brought his game. They just couldn't hit no shots when he was passing them the ball. In this game, they did. And as we say, we'll get more into Luka later. But for the Warriors, Clay didn't play that well. Poole didn't play that well. But I think once they get back home to get that energy, I expect them to win that game. And I think they'll handle their business.
Emerson.
Oh no, like I said, I made my point. Basically, I like the grit and grind of the Dallas Mavericks, and I think Coach Jason Kidd is going to have them say, "Listen, we're going to fight to the finish, and we're going to give it everything we got, leave it all out there on the floor." And I think that's what they're going to do. And I think right now, at this juncture of the series, you take it game by game because anything could happen.
And one last thing I want to throw in there is keep your eye out on. In that game, Kerr got to play some of his rookies. Your Kumingas, your Mooney, Moody. Was it Moody?
Yeah.
Those guys got some quality minutes and experience in the game. And they almost came back in that game.
That's where I was going to go next with that is I would have kept the bench and let the bench finish that game out. Because the bench was hungry and they kept fighting. They kept fighting to the point where that Dallas had to bring back their starters.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And they had it.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead, T.
Oh, go ahead. I mean, it's just like, I know the Warriors kind of said, let's go for it. Because to me, this Warriors, they've been like this in the past, much like the Patriots teams when Tom Brady was playing. You always found yourself looking at the game, and it happened, what was it? Was that Friday? What night was that? Saturday night or Sunday night?
Mm-hmm.
Where Dallas played a perfect first half.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I know in the back of my mind, I felt like, it's not enough points because Golden State has the ability to score points.
Absolutely.
In bunches.
In bunches. Yes.
And so I think Kerr was like, well, let's go for it. Let's see, but I do agree. I mean, if he would have gotten the rookies some more minutes, it would have been a great experience for them. But they did get some play, which is key.
I think I would have rewarded them. I would have rewarded the bench. Okay, I would have looked at you starters like, okay, you didn't win tonight, but you better show up when we get back to out in California. But you bench guys, keep running.
Only thing I would say about that, Aaron, is that even though they got you back in it, you're still trying to close out the game, and you don't sit potential Hall of Famers on the bench
trying to prove a point.
Yeah.
It's about, even though you may be Hall of Famers, you just don't have it tonight.
Yeah, but would you do that to Michael Jordan or somebody?
Right.
Would you say that?
Right. So exactly, Brian. I was going to go there.
This is. I understand. Michael Jordan is a different beast.
Well, Steph Curry is what?
Yeah. Steph Curry and them were cheering on the guys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, "Hey, guys, we're with you. Keep doing what you're doing." Yeah. They wasn't.
And that's what you want.
They wasn't pushing to say, hey, coach, put me back in the game.
Yeah, but from the coaching standpoint,
The coaching standpoint, I agree, I hear what you're saying, but to me, looking at that game, the bench, because the bench was hungry, they were getting up on Luka, and Luka was getting banged up in that game at the end too.
Yep.
That I think at one time his what was it, close to his knee buckled at one time. That he went and grabbed for his knee, and Reggie Miller said, "This is what happens when you've got to put your starters back in the game to close out the game.
Yeah.
You can wind up getting an injury," and it almost happened. So I give the Golden State Warriors bench credit for forcing the Dallas Mavericks to put their starters back in to close the game. Is the Dallas Mavericks Luka one of the greatest players in the NBA today? If so, where do you put him? Emerson.
I got greatness all over Luka. I have greatness all over Luka. What he's been able to show us in these last few years since he joined the Dallas Mavericks has been amazing. I put him up there with any of the greats from this era and in past eras as well. Mm-hmm. And I know we talk about, well, he doesn't have any championship, and I know people like to always, give that player who has the most rings or who have been to the NBA Finals the most times and put him on a different tier. But I'm just straight basketball and what he's been able to bring to the NBA and what he's been able to do in the NBA when night in and night out, teams' jobs are to stop this man right here. And you can put the best wing defenders on him. You can put small guys on him. You can put bigger players on him. You can come at him with double teams, and he still shows up and shows out. I'm giving Luka Doncic all the praise and props that he deserves because he's pure greatness. He's a superstar in the NBA. And I hope that he can get some more help with the years to come before his body starts to break down. I think the grueling physical and the physicality of the NBA and the way he plays and what he has to put out each and every night could become a factor of him getting little tic-tac and knick-knack injuries that can actually stunt his growth because the sky is the limit for him. And he hasn't even reached his full potential yet. But what he's able to do right now is just pure amazing.
The sky's the limit.
Limit.
I'm going to remember that.
Hey, writing it down. The sky's the limit. Yeah.
Let's go with Terry, please.
Yeah, and he's one of the greatest players in today's game. He made the first team All NBA this year. Like I said before, I think we were talking the other night. I believe he's a star in this league, much like Jason Tatum, up and coming. For me, and he's done some great things over the years, not just this year. In the playoffs, went up against some of the top seeded teams in the league and beat them. I can't right now for me. I can't. I'm not going to put him on that superstar level right now. Just my opinion. He's close. He's very close. I know some of the things that he does to the top defenders in the league. You throw a center on him, he makes him look bad. You throw a guard on him, forward, makes him look bad. But I can't put him in that superstar tier yet. I don't know about. I think we still, like Emerson said, the sky's the limit for him. As far as like calling him a generational talent, I think it's still too early in his career. I mean, you're talking about Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas. You're putting him up against some of the best point guards that played the game. And I can't make that call just yet. Sky's the limit for him, and he could prove me wrong. But we'll have to wait and see. But what he's done over the past couple years and this year, in getting to the Western Conference Finals is definitely a big task, and I don't want to take that away from him. But to me, he's right there on the edge of being a superstar, but I can't put him in that yet. And I also like to see him take care. I just for future, and like we just said, the sky's the limit. I like to see him take better care of his body, whether that's a workout regimen or just a diet. I like to see him come in better shape than he has. And that's not to say he's not in shape, because he's still doing things effectively or perfect. But I just like to see him kind of hone in on his workout regimen or diet in the years to come.
Ryan.
The sky's the limit. Right now he's like a glider gliding right through the sky. Whether he wants to be a G4 or something else, it's up to him, because he's definitely proven to me he's right there. We said greatest player. I don't know if we were saying superstar or not, but he's one of the greatest right now in the league today. This discussion that we had yesterday, I wish people could have heard it, but we were going over it, and Aaron was debating, saying he's not a star or he's not great.
Rebel without a cause.
But one point that I had brought up is offensively he cannot be guarded. When he played last year, let alone just what he did this year, but last year when he went up against the Clippers and he toasted Kawhi, Paul George, Pat Bev, all of those guys are defensive players, and he cooked them all like they was rotisserie chicken.
Definitely rotisserie.
So
with the barbecue sauce on it.
Yeah,
Don't forget the barbecue sauce on it.
So offensively, he has no flaw offensively. He can do anything, basically. He can probably work on his free throw shooting. But there was some stats that I just wanted to bring up, too. In his fourth year, what he's averaging, what is he averaging? 28, 8 assists.
Wow.
And 8 rebounds.
Wow.
And just to show you, we was talking about greatness. LeBron's fourth year in the season, he averaged 30 points. 5 assists, 8.1 assists. So Luka's doing what LeBron did with a little bit even better assist ratio. He's giving you 28 and 9. LeBron gave you 30 and 5.
Brian,
yeah,
I want to ask you a question to that stat between LeBron and Luka.
Yep.
Who would you say would you say LeBron had better players in his first 3 years, or did Luka?
I don't remember on the fourth year exactly all the players that was on LeBron's team, but I think they're pretty comparable.
No.
Well, let me ask you this then.
LeBron in his first 3 years with Cleveland had his talent was horrible.
Yeah,
he did not have good talent with Cleveland.
I didn't say, yeah, but
that was one of the major reasons why LeBron wanted to get out of Cleveland, because the general managers they kept putting in that position couldn't bring any talent to Cleveland.
Okay, so
and that talent didn't turn over until after LeBron left.
So I'm not going to count
Wait.
I guess, are we talking about his rookie year? Are we talking about the fourth year? What are we talking about? Which year?
What year?
I would say you can go with LeBron's first 4 years in Cleveland.
Okay, so then
the talent that LeBron had in his first 4 years with Cleveland was nothing compared to the talent that Luka has today.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
that's just it. He didn't have any names.
No, I'm talking about who's Luka have. Kristaps was probably your best player, and they got rid of him because they didn't want him.
Mm-hmm.
So,
exactly.
So give me who's the next best player.
Right. Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just asking you to name somebody here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can name them right now.
Name somebody. Name them.
That's why I said I don't really remember who was on LeBron's team on this fourth year. Rookie year, yeah, I kind of, it wasn't no great players. I remember that, but I don't remember everybody. But I don't think neither one of them played with another superstar.
Yeah, I think just seeing what happened with Kristaps Porzingis last year, or was it this year? They traded him away. I think
This
it was
year,
last year though. Oh, this year.
Yeah.
I don't think experts around the league thought that the Mavericks would be in the position that they are in right now.
Nobody thought they would be here.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give Luka credit for that as well as Jason Kidd. I mean, he doesn't really have anybody here on that team.
They closed out the Phoenix Suns. They closed out the Phoenix Suns, who people were crowning Phoenix like after the All-Star break. People were talking about with CP3 at the helm and Booker and all these things and Guyton playing the way he's playing. People had the Phoenix Suns. They wanted to give them the crown after the All-Star break. And the Dallas Mavericks with Luka, did what he had to do and showed everybody. Put up 40s on the game. Exactly.
So
exactly.
Like I said,
and you can't give this guy greatness. That was greatness before our eyes.
Yeah.
And I know everybody says, we always say, oh, wait till the playoffs come because playoff basketball is different. It was in the playoffs. It wasn't a regular season game. It wasn't just one of your national televised game during the season. Oh, yeah, you think they're going to let him do that in the playoffs? It was the playoffs.
Yep. You only got to focus on one team for 4 games.
That's all I'm saying.
And they can't stop him.
And the going into the game each and every night was, we have to stop Luka. That was the defensive game plan every single night, and they couldn't do it.
Can't do it. Like I said, offensively, you can't really do nothing with him. His weakness is
so rank him wherever you want to rank him, anybody. But I'm putting him up there with some of the best of the best.
And this year they got him ranked as sixth best player.
Booyah!
Who's that? Who's he behind?
You got Joker 1, Giannis 2, Embiid 3, LeBron is 4, and Kevin Durant is 5. Remember we were talking about that last night? I said after you gave me Durant, LeBron,
that was good. That's good company.
And
that's good company.
I think you gave me somebody else. I was like, no, name somebody else. Because the people that you had named,
that's good company.
LeBron and KD, those were generational talents. Those don't come. A 7-footer that can do what he do. LeBron, who could do what he does. Generational type talent. Luka is somewhat kind of that. Generational type talent. Ball skills, passing ability,
his court awareness,
and shooting.
I mean, the things he can do, just unbelievable.
LeBron James roster when 2003 for the Cavaliers.
That's his first year. That's his rookie year.
Rookie year. Tony Battle. Tony Battle, 6 years of experience. Carlos Boozer, Duke. J.R. Brenner. Kendrick Brown. Mateen Cleaves. Ricky Davis. They had a center.
Somebody look up 2000 6.
I can go there.
Only reason I'm saying that is because they stunk that bad. That's how they got the number 1 pick.
Right.
And
Right.
so that's why I said pick his 4th year or something like that.
Okay, his 4th year, you had center Martina.
You're talking about the guy with the curly hair.
No, this guy was he was a center 7'2".
Yeah.
Drew Gordon, power forward, Stephen Graham, Zindon Hamilton, Alan Henderson, Larry Hughes, Luke Jackson, Damian Jones, Donnell Marshall.
Yeah, that's Emerson.
All Emerson boys.
Ronald Murray.
Donnie Marshall. Yeah, he's going to be all that.
Teen Cleese, I remember.
Yeah.
Sasha
Michigan State.
Polovic, Eric Snow.
Okay.
Mike Millis. Wilkes.
Okay.
So he had some players, but they just, they weren't that great. Because Hughes was supposed to be good. He was decent.
Yeah.
Hughes.
Yeah.
Snow was on his way out. He was 10 years in the league at that time.
You said somebody else too. I can't remember who it was.
The roster
Don't matter.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter.
The roster that they had, LeBron was the one-man show.
That's what Luka is.
Yeah.
And that's how Riley looked at LeBron like, no, everybody's looking at this kid wrong. This kid he's an assist person. And Riley sold him on that. But I asked a gentleman that I work with, Rusty. He does a lot of officiating high school basketball games. And I said to Russ, Russ, I want to ask you a question. Do you think Luka is one of the greats? He said, no. He said, Luka is good. He said, his career is not over.
Yeah. And that's for sure.
And I said, you know what, you make a valid point. Because if his career was to end now, you can only go by the 4 or 5 seasons and then you're projecting. What if he didn't get hurt or whatever? Is he on his way to being one of the greats? I would say yes.
Well,
but to just give him that now, for me, no, I can't do it.
I will have to beg to differ on that, because if you're saying the NBA,
well, let me. Can I throw this out here?
We're done for Thanksgiving, Brian.
So can I throw this out here? Was Michael Jordan great in his first 2-3 years, first 4 years?
Michael Jordan,
he kept losing. Remember?
But he
was trying to make the playoffs, and he kept losing in the first round.
Here was the thing about Michael Jordan.
I'm listening.
You saw something special.
And you don't see anything special in Luka?
Wait a minute. Hear me out for a second.
Okay.
My father, Daryl's father, our friend, Doug, his father was not a basketball fan.
Okay.
But all of a sudden, he went to see Michael Jordan.
Okay.
Because he saw something special. Michael Jordan brought to the league something special. Michael Jordan brought to the league where that Larry Bird, Magic Johnson had to take a step back and go, that kid is special.
Wow.
Everybody.
LeBron say he would start his team off with Luka as one of his players. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, if that's what LeBron wanted to do, great for LeBron.
Great for
because
Magic
I would say, because
Bird.
somebody may say this: go ahead and take Luka, somebody may say, I'll take Dirk.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
To me, that's even Stevens right there.
There is no even Steven with Dirk and Luka.
Well,
No even
so
Steven.
Who would you take?
I'm taking Luka all day long.
Ooh. Okay.
Luka can't do the assists. Find people and come on. And you talking about Dirk Nowitzki, right?
Yeah.
That's what we talking about, huh? He was a great shooter. He was a great player for the Mavericks. Yes,
champion.
But Luka, his all-around passing ability, rebounding, and scoring, he is a better player than Dirk Nowitzki.
Yeah.
Now, ask anyone that.
And what I didn't understand what you were saying, you said you seen something special in Michael Jordan, but you're saying you don't see anything special with
Right.
Luka?
I'm not saying that Luka's not special. I'm just not gonna crown him great.
Okay. But
I'm just not going to crown
with Mike.
at the end of, and I didn't crown Michael Jordan great when Michael Jordan came into the league.
Okay.
Because my hero for greatness was Dr. J.
Okay.
And then as time went on, Michael Jordan surpassed Dr. J.
Well, let me ask you, would you say Luka's a superstar?
I would say he's a superstar.
That's all we want to hear you say.
But I don't. I don't.
But wait. But if you're saying he's a superstar, but then you said he's not that. You're confused.
There's a difference between great and a superstar. Because Charles Barkley is a superstar. I'm not going to put Charles Barkley as great.
Okay.
I'd put him as a superstar, but I'm not going to put him as great.
Okay. And why not? I just like to know.
I just don't. I look at Charles Barkley as a superstar, one of the superstars of the NBA.
But if he's a superstar,
yes, he was
why wouldn't you put him as great?
11-time All-Star player. But I don't put him up there. To me, when I say great, I'm only going to put 5 or 4 people.
Okay.
And I may have Wilt Chamberlain up there. I may have Michael Jordan up there. So I'm not going to put a whole bunch of people up there and say, here's the card for you to be great. No, because even in the era of Bill Russell, Bill Russell had 11 championships.
Yeah.
And the sad thing about it is a lot of people don't call him great.
Yeah.
Oh, let me ask you guys a question. You're starting your team off. I think both of these guys kind of came in the league around the same time. When you're starting your team off, would you take Joker, Luka?
I'm taking Luka.
Jerry?
Depends on my needs.
You're just starting your team off.
Man, that's a tough one. I'm gonna go.
Take a Joker, Aaron.
I'll take Luka for $1.
And the reason why I say that is because that's the guy who was MVP. And you just said you would take Luka.
I would take Luka.
Well,
Brian, I don't take nothing from. My thing is this: is he a good player? Yes. Do I think he has the potential to be great? Yes. But let's see how his career goes.
Well, that's
what happens, because we talked yesterday how out of shape Luka is and how this can ruin his career.
Yeah.
Well, not ruin his career, but it can cut his career short.
Yeah.
What happens if he comes in next year 30 pounds overweight?
Well,
what if he comes in the best shape of his life? Then what?
Hopefully he'll figure that part out. That's something he has to figure out. But
that's the problem. If you're striving for greatness, you're like this. your body, your mind, and everything is going to be tuned as one.
Well, I'm going to get you with this one.
Well,
because it took Michael Jordan a while before he kept getting beat by Detroit that said, you know what?
Thank you.
I need to go into the weight room and get physically stronger to beat these guys.
Thank you. Go ahead.
So it took him a while to understand it. So maybe Luka's still young. So maybe he will get to understand that.
But that's the road that we're waiting on.
Yeah.
That's the road that we're waiting for Luka to go.
Well, right now,
years old.
Today, he is still a great player.
He's one of the best. I'm not going to take that away.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the problem is, will he go down that road and say, I got to get my body together?
Yeah, he has to
and if
figure
he
that out.
doesn't, his career could be cut short.
Yeah.
Or maybe not.
Yeah.
That's what time will show.
You know how many chiseled guys that I've seen in great shape? They're no longer in the league. They lasted 4 or 5 years, and it wasn't because their bodies weren't and they weren't in good shape. They just didn't have what it took to be able to withstand the longevity of the NBA. So I don't know if him getting the best dietitian and having the best physical trainer.
Well, let's take a look. Now you just opened up the Pandora's box.
Let's open it up.
What is LeBron? What is LeBron?
He's an amazing specimen.
Why?
He spends over $1 million on his body.
And how old is he?
He's what is LeBron? 36, 37?
So if LeBron didn't take care of his body, would LeBron be able to play at this age?
Probably not.
Yeah,
thank you.
Probably
that's
not.
what we could find out.
We understand that.
And that's
this is what I'm talking about. LeBron knows for his body, and to compete at that level and to maintain at this level, he had to invest in his body.
Yeah. I don't know if he knew that when he came into the league at 19.
But as time went on, he began to develop.
That's what I'm saying. So,
but you have to have it within yourself.
So why aren't all these guys doing that so they can play for 20 years? Why aren't all these guys doing it? I mean, if that's the trend,
it takes a person to want to do it.
Okay.
Case in point, if you were an NBA player, you would be at a Buffalo wing shop.
I would have those Buffalo wings. If I'm scoring 30 every night and I'm still eating those Buffalo wings, you bet I'm going to eat those wings. Matter of fact,
ladies and gentlemen,
teriyaki wings.
Live.
Yep. Extra sauce, please.
Give
Extra
me the teriyaki wings. Give me the honey barbecue, and don't forget, I want the extra hot buffalo wings.
And don't forget about the towel to wipe your head off as you're sweating. Eating
my head gonna sweat when I eat those top wings, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
I want lots of water, lots of ice water, so I can guzzle it down.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I want all flats. I want all my wings to be flats. I like the flats better.
Yeah, you don't even want no bones in it. You just want to eat it. I want
the flats.
Back in the 70s, when television would go off at 1 o'clock in the morning, this concludes our broadcast for today.
With him eating buffalo
folks,
wings.
We'll see you next time.
Gary, before we leave, please tell them about that subscribe button.
Thank everybody for tuning in. If you're new to the show, please hit that subscribe button. Hit the share button as well so you can tell a friend. Again, our thoughts and prayers go out to the young children, 2 teachers that lost their lives. And thoughts and prayers go out to everyone that's been affected by this tragedy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And don't forget about the people, the families that have lost people in Buffalo.
Yes.
And the people in Ukraine that are still fighting the good fight.
Yeah.
God bless them all. And good night, everybody, from XO Sports Talk.
Good night, folks. Have a good one. We'll see you next week. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.